Update of Eclipse and Silken. For this character, they used to be one that shared a body, but ultimately, whenever I was writing the story, I created a time period where they separated, and this is a separation. Silken is an artificial soul created by the author, who was put into the body soon after Eclipse was about 2. They had shared a body most of their life until they left the situation with their adoptive family. Whenever they left, Eclipse ultimately decided to make herself an artificial body using living tech. This created a unique scenario where one had the real body and the other had an artificial one, but instead of the artificial soul having the artificial body, the artificial soul kept the real body. These two are my pride and joy, and I was super happy to finally give Eclipse a new design and still be able to keep the old design that I had for her and cherished over many years. Silken's body is of a Black Widow familiar. She does have venom, and on her back there is a gem-like stone in the shape of an hourglass where her extra limbs come from. They are insect-like. She has a second set of eyes which are below her normal ones and are more insect-ish like. She has a cascade of freckles on her cheeks, and I ultimately kept this design for years, so I'm still very proud of it. However, going to Eclipse's artificial body. This one I had more fun with because it was a design that would fit the character, built specifically by the character. She ultimately chose a lot of green in her design and gave herself an artificial owl familiar design. For her artificial owl familiar design, she also has a gem-like stone on her back where her soul is contained. It is in the shape of a diamond, and that is where the owl wings appear and disappear from. They're not always available. She chose dark green hair and green eyes with a outer green tone with it. She is able to see in the dark and has a lot of features that would be owlish. She has elf-like ears. Mainly because if I could find an excuse to give them long pointy ears, I'm going to give them long pointy ears. That's just me. I did forget, however, to draw in this her freckles, but they're supposed to be very subtle anyway, so it's not a big deal. For her design, I am still working out small kinks in how she would dress, since for the longest time I just had the same outfit on loop for this character. However, her dress is inspired by a mushroom known as the ink mushroom. It has a dripping black design, and it's a pretty cool mushroom to look at. And edible before it starts dripping black, if I remember correctly. Silken is somebody who's more into fashion. She loves to design clothes for herself, while Eclipse is an inventor. She loves to build. If she can make it with her hands, she will. But her magical abilities related to tech are something that she relies heavily on whenever it comes to designing blueprints. But she still loves the physical nature of building a design. So she'll often build the designs by hand and then manufacture on mass scale using her abilities. Silken, however, currently does not have an ability. Not because she's not going to have one, just because I haven't decided what it'll be in comparison to her counterpart. Not to mention she's an artificial soul. So that'll be a lot of fun to come up with. Overall, I am in love with how I built these characters and how long I've had them. Eclipse is one of the oldest characters I have ever had, and she means a lot to me. So being able to keep her old design while still creating a better design to fit her as a character was something that I was really wanting to do. And I got to keep some of the oldest traits and add them into Silken's design and personality that were long lost due to the nature of how I built her in the future. I had a plethora amount of fun when it came to building how contrast these two can be and how they dealt with each other in a mindscape where they had to learn to share. And I can promise you, they did not know how to share at first. One fell asleep, the other would get the body, and so they would do extreme periods of just no sleep to try to avoid switching out. Overall, I hope that you've enjoyed this drawing and that you enjoyed the story-ish of these two.